There's a specific kind of peace that hits when you close your front door and lock the world out. And if you're someone who'd rather stay in than go out 90% of the time, you already know what I'm talking about. Today, we're diving into the psychology of people who genuinely love staying home. Not because they're lazy or antisocial, but because something deeper is going on. Here's what most people don't get. For some of us, being around others isn't just tiring, it's work. Real work. You're reading faces, adjusting your tone, making sure you're not too much or not enough. Your brain is running a background program the entire time, monitoring and calculating. And when you finally get home, that program shuts off. That's the relief you feel. Psychologists call this hypervigilance. It often starts in childhood. Maybe your home was unpredictable, so you learned to read the room before you entered it. Maybe your emotions weren't welcome, so you learned to perform a calmer version of yourself. Over time, this becomes automatic. You don't even realize you're doing it anymore. But your nervous system remembers, and it's exhausted. So home becomes the one place where you can stop performing, where you don't have to be on, where you can finally just exist without adjusting yourself for someone else's comfort. Here's the thing, though. What starts as healthy self-protection can quietly turn into isolation. You start saying no to plans. Then you stop getting invited. Then you tell yourself you prefer it this way. And maybe you do. But sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between choosing solitude and avoiding discomfort. There's actually a psychological concept for this. It's called behavioral avoidance. When something feels hard or draining, we avoid it. And every time we avoid it, it gets a little bit harder to face next time. So the world starts to feel bigger and scarier, and home starts to feel like the only safe place. But here's where it gets interesting. People who love staying home aren't all avoiding the world. Some of them have what's called a low stimulation preference. Their brains are wired to feel best in calm, predictable environments. They're not scared of people. They just genuinely enjoy quiet more than noise, solitude more than socializing. These are often deep thinkers, the ones who notice details, who have rich inner lives, who find meaning in small, quiet moments that most people rush past. Studies actually show that people who spend time alone tend to be more creative, more self-aware, better at introspection. Staying home isn't doing nothing. It's where clarity happens, where ideas form, where you actually get to know yourself. But society doesn't value that. Society rewards being out there, visible, social, busy. If you're not posting, not networking, not making plans, you must be missing out, right? Except you're not. You're just operating on a different frequency. The real question is this: does staying home fill you up, or does leaving drain you so much that staying in is the only option? Because one is a preference, the other is a coping mechanism, and both are valid, but only one is sustainable. If you stay home because it genuinely brings you peace, because your energy comes from stillness, because you've built a life that fits who you actually are, then you're not broken. You're just honest. But if you stay home because the world feels too loud, too fast, too much, and you've slowly shrunk your life to fit your comfort zone, then maybe it's worth asking what you're protecting yourself from. Because the walls that keep the overwhelm out can also keep connection out. Safety and freedom aren't always the same thing. Here's the truth. People who love staying home aren't lazy or scared. They're people who learned early that the world required a version of themselves they couldn't always sustain. So they built a life where they didn't have to pretend. And there's wisdom in that. If this hit home, check out the next video. It goes even deeper.